Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I am a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on November 3rd, 2021 at approximately 4:21 a.m. PST. I'll tell you, it's an interesting setup when your life finally takes a turn where you understand where it's going. Okay, now yesterday I was talking about I had to make a major shift to the end of an epic. Well, it took me a day and a half, I think, to actually figure out where that shift was. Got it straightened out. Now I know exactly where I'm standing and what's coming up as far as the writing goes. But back to the original situation here really is you. I returned to this world, this lifetime for one primary purpose, and that was to spread a simple message to everybody, to everyone in existence. Okay, doesn't matter what your background, how you got to where you are. The message I came back to pass on was that working together, we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. Or more to the point, a better life for virtually everybody. Because we're not just talking about this world. We're not just talking about humans. We're talking about everybody. Now, there were two massive mistakes that were made centuries ago. One was that any one people was considered better than the next, and that belief was let fester. And unfortunately, that has created some massive problems. Now, I'm referring to originally one group of humans. The second mistake that was made was the off-worlders, the non-human races, and the races that came before man were not were not taken into consideration. Both of those events led to a massive shift, and it has ultimately led to what we are currently facing. A world where people are so caught up in immediate gratification, and they are being led down the wrong path, if you will, where people have forgotten that communication starts with the individual. Now, no matter how you got to where you are, okay, right this moment, everybody's equal. You're all right here, right now. And this is the only time in existence. It's the only time anybody can ever do anything. Okay, is right here, right now. Even if you postpone something for a week or 2 weeks or a year, even when you make plans for down the road, you're actually not able to do them until you are right there in the moment. Which is why I've always lived by a very simple outlook. I follow three laws. Okay, the only three I pay attention to, and though I can't prove it, they were the original three. Okay, and now understand this is simply my belief structure. You don't have to believe me, but consider this. Okay, if I'm wrong, so be it. If I'm right, we may have a more interesting situation. Okay, now, when I talk about being a spiritual guide, this is because all of the tools that I offer people are the exact same tools that I personally use, assuming they apply to my life. Now, when we take a look at the three laws I follow are simple. Be true to yourself first. Do unto others as you desire them to do unto you. Energy out, energy in. Now, caught inside of that, and this is where being true to yourself comes in very handy. Okay, I simply look at life in this fashion. I brace for the worst, I plan for the best, and I live for the moment. Now, my life has been a roller coaster and is far closer to science fiction than anything else. To that end, okay, I have discovered actually, in all fairness, it's more a case of remembered certain truths about reality. One of the biggest issues is this. There is no quite literally, and again, you don't have to believe me. There's a lot of teachings out there that will tell you there have been perfect people. Now, my memories date back into past lives like you would not believe, in all likelihood. Some of you do. Of course, in all fairness, some of you have recognized my past lives before I have. Okay. And this is why I say we do not stand alone. Everybody is connected. Now, where it starts, okay, everything starts in the spiritual world, okay, in the non-tangible. At least from a human standpoint, it's non-tangible. Okay, the energy comes down, you come up with a thought, that's where it begins. Okay. As the saying goes, at the start of it all, there was simply a thought. Then it came down, actually, that's not the saying, but that's the concept. The energy comes down into the heart. Okay, the heart is where you get that emotional imperative, that emotional drive. From there, once you've got the emotional drive, it goes to the intellect. It goes to the mind, where you find a logical way to take what you desire and bring it into the material world. Once you've got that logical path, it comes into the material world where it can be made manifest. Now, bringing it into the material world is done by simply giving it physical form, giving it voice. Okay. Now, the moment you utter something or write it down, you're bringing that thought into the material world where it can be replicated. Okay. So, when you've got a thought, when you've got a goal in your own mind, in your own heart that you desire to accomplish, it's up to you and you alone to make that happen. The guidance of other people can either lead you down some pretty black paths, or it can lead you to a life that is far more efficient for you, where you can feel a whole lot more successful yourself. But in all fairness, given that every entity in existence has been given free will, it is up to you to choose whether or not you're going to utilize that free will, that gift, to make your life better or to make it more miserable. Okay, hence the three karmic laws. Now here's the thing. If you go into the concept that the entirety of existence as we know it was done by one individual. Okay, and now this is just my belief. This does not mean I am the only answer that's out there. But I do have an advantage in my eyes of I'm absolutely certain in my heart when I take a look at the laws and the way that the reality exists. I'm a firm believer in one entity being at the start of it all. Okay, at least as far as this incarnation goes. Okay, now, I never questioned myself whether one individual created it all. Okay, all I ever claimed, and all I ever held to was he wasn't the top of the totem pole. Well, about, where are we? I guess just about 2 years ago now, coming on 2 years. No, just over a year ago. Just over a year ago, I sat down with what I believe, what I feel, and I am absolutely certain is the beginning entity of this incarnation. And I had a wonderful conversation, which is why I am firmly convinced that, that there is only the one. Now, I've heard lots of different names for it. You can believe what you will. But, okay, what I have come to understand is if you're being taught to fear, if you will, your creator, you may be walking down a difficult path. Now, if everything was created, this means the positive and the negative. Free choice gives you the choice between being good and evil. Problem. You have to have evil in existence in order to make that choice. Which means if you buy into the concept that everything was created by one individual, that means they created every religion, they created good, they created evil, they created all of the sins, all the virtues, the whole 9 yards. Okay. Now, you may be one of these people that is very much at a situation where you're questioning the path you're on. I could not personally figure out where the holdup was until just a few days ago, October 31st to be exact. Well, October 31st to be exact as far as Western culture goes. It's kind of interesting when you think that as far as I'm aware, there are at least 6 calendars being used in today's world. Now, I don't know what the other calendars are. Okay. But since I'm up in Canada, okay, I'll go with that calendar. And 3 days ago, I ended up coming to an understanding what was holding me back. That was quite literally my own short-sightedness, my own jealousy about people that, yes, I said jealousy, which just simply goes to reiterate the fact that I'm not perfect. But it came to my attention that I was holding myself back because I was looking what other people were doing and going, what is the thing that I'm having trouble with? I've lived just on the poverty line my entire life, just above it. Okay, fortunately, never ended up on the street. But it dawned on me that the people that I was looking at and comparing myself to were all doing something that they were enjoying. Net result, stress level collapsed for them, for the most part, at least as far as what they were showing. My problem was I've been bottling my stress. I've been avoiding what I was doing, what I enjoyed doing. 3 days it dawned on me where the holdup was. And that was the fact that I was not focusing absolutely solidly on what I really enjoy. So I spent the last few days have been really, really off kilter for me. But if you're try English, if you are holding yourself back and not doing what you're enjoying, the odds are very good what's happening is you're spending a lot of money just trying to convince yourself you're happy. Okay, I will tell you, your stress level will collapse when you figure it out. Okay, and I can tell it to you, it won't matter until it makes sense here. It won't make a lot of difference. But if you are holding yourself back, if you're not doing what you're enjoying doing, keeping in mind you still have to have a roof over your head, so you still require an income. Do not quit your current income unless you've got a replacement. When it dawned on me that this was the problem, it made all the difference in the world. Okay, at least as far as the way I was feeling went. Today, I have a very solid focus on what I'm aiming for, what I require, and that's going to make my life a whole lot easier. When you come to that conclusion that this is what you desire, this is what you enjoy doing, and you start focusing on that. Okay, and it's a lot easier, by the way, to figure out what you're not content with than it is to figure out what you are content, what you may be content with. Now, with that in mind, okay, alter the energy of what you're doing that you're not content with. Okay. Now that starts by being entered inside your body. Okay. If you're not happy, the reason they call them diseases, whatever it is you're suffering from, whether it's problems with your eyesight, your heart, your sugar levels, your stress levels, it's all a dis-ease. Okay. And the more you understand that, it was coined to me a long time ago, to know oneself is to know all. Now, I didn't, in all fairness, quite realize just exactly how important that saying was way back when. Because we're talking 30 years ago, 40 years ago almost, that this comment was made. Okay. And to know oneself simply means understand how the energy in the world, in your body, is affecting your health. If you're not content, you're going to run into snags. Okay. People talk about, having headaches and what have you. Well, frankly, they're usually caused by stress. Now, yes, there are all sorts of little symptoms and little things that can trigger that. But ultimately, it boils down to your body isn't responding well to what you're putting it through. The more you understand this, and the more you focus on altering the things you're not content with, the easier your life is going to end up getting, the lower your stress level comes. Now, I can tell you myself, back in 2018, I bottled my stress so badly I ended up with a stroke. Not fun. Still having fun trying to sort that out. However, because of that, it did get me thinking a lot about the way things are going. Now, if you are not pursuing that thing that you enjoy, no matter what it is, okay, providing it does not break those first three karmic laws, then it may be time to start focusing on it. As soon as it dawned on me where the holdup was from my end, it made it so much easier to get focused and to get things moving. So you start with the energy in your own body. Then you work at the energy in the primary place where you focus, where you focus on your finances, on the way your house is running. Because the reality is that's where the material world manifests. Okay, if you're focusing on getting your world in order, the material world does matter. It's just not the thing that makes people happy. You may not believe that, okay? You may be one of these people that's got a lot of material stuff around you, and you think that's making you happy. But the happiest people I've run into don't have a whole lot of material stuff around them. Okay, now, I'm not living on the street by any means. Okay, unlike many people I met on the line, on the internet, they claimed they were poor. Oh, I'm so terribly poor. You'd look in the mirror in the viewpoint behind them, and you'd be looking at it going, how can you call yourself poor when you've got stuff that was in better shape than mine? Okay, now my stuff is not state of the art. Okay, that neat little sign over there is hand burned. I used a magnifying lens and the sunlight to simply burn a sign that says, I am worth it. That four-word combination in spoken language is in all fairness, it's even in thought, as near as I can tell, is the most damaging, the most effective way of damaging low self-esteem, of eradicating it, and bringing your own self-esteem up on track, your own sense of self-worth. If you've got a project, a goal that you're not pursuing right now that you've dreamed about, frankly, now is the time to go after it. Do not be foolhardy, however. You still require, like I said, you still require an income. So stick with your current job, whatever you're doing, even if you're not entirely content with it. Stick with it. You still require a paycheck over your head. And just take my word for it from the number of people I've talked to. If you don't have a roof over your head, if you don't have enough food in the house to be content, you're going to be a whole lot more miserable. So maintain your current income. But in your off time, when you're not focused on your income and your education, focus on attaining the things you personally desire. Okay, now you may not be able to attain that goal in the time you desired in the first place. I know many people that graduated and they didn't get the education they really desired. They didn't get the courses they wanted that they desired. So after they graduated, they went back to school. One of the most remarkable ones I ran into was a young lass that I ran into. She was 52 at the time. And this would be about 20 years ago now. So in all fairness, at this point, she's likely retired. But at 52, she came to me with the complaint that she felt she had lost out because when she was a teenager, she desired to become a doctor. Well, she became a doctor. I worked with her for almost, well, for 7 years. I was with her 8 years actually. From the time she was 52, I talked to her and pointed the direction. She took the point of the direction, got back into university, and became an MD at the age of 60. Now, like I said, the odds are she's either retired or dead at this point. Okay, she may still be alive. For all I know, she may be practicing. The point being, yeah, she missed the boat on becoming an MD by the time she was 25, but she attained it. My understanding is that Colonel Sanders was 65 when he opened his first chicken stand. Now, for me, it's really kind of funny when I published Birth of the Wolf Pack in 2019. Okay, that was after a 40-year wait. Okay, because in 2019 is 3 years ago, just over a 40-year wait. I wrote the original storyline when I was 15. Okay, it didn't come to fruition. However, I now have that one in print. The sequel, I'm online now, especially with this neat little shift that I just accomplished. I now have a real solid path to go down. Okay, to bring the end of an epic, which is the sequel, to bring it to print early next year. It'll be set to go in at the end of December, but then it'll take them a little bit of time to get it organized. So that's okay. The point being, I had a goal, I had a dream from way back. I never gave up on the dream. I put it on hold because life got in the way. Okay. Now here I am, 58 years old, going after the dream I desire. You may well have, or maybe I should put it this way: do you have a dream that you've been holding on, that you've been holding back on? I would love to hear about it in the comments below. If you're a little lost as to where to start, as to how to get your dream to happen, don't care what the dream is. Okay, well, I do. I desire to hear about them, but it doesn't make a lot of difference. Ask me what you will in the comments below, or if you want something that you don't want the rest of the world necessarily to read, drop me a line at one of the contact points below this video. And remember, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and remember to hit the alert button to let you know when the next video comes out. Drop me a question in the line below. Okay, and I will get back to you as quick as I can, one way or the other. Okay, because the reality is, virtually all dreams are attainable, providing they stick inside karmic law. The ones that go outside karmic law, especially when you look at the idea of do unto others as you desire them to do unto you, those ones I'm not about to help somebody lay out. I had a situation a while ago where somebody came up to me and they went, if I give you $1,000, will you go and tell so and so this? And I looked at the guy and I says, understanding what he was doing was he wanted me to set this chap up, this other individual up, to get really, really in a lot of trouble. But he wanted me to lie about it. So I looked at the guy and I went, guess what? Yeah, I'll take the $1,000. And he says, well, are you going to tell the person, are you going to pass on the message? I said, not a prayer. I'm not about to lie to you to make you feel better. I'm not about to lie to him to make you feel better. Heck, I won't lie to you to make you feel better. And the guy looks at me and goes, well, why would I give you the $1,000 then? I said, because you're nice. Now, unfortunately, the guy wasn't that nice. I didn't get the $1,000. But the point from that standpoint is this. If you've got a goal in mind that is not going to deliberately hurt other people, as in violate karmic law, if you're following karmic law, the odds are you're going to upset somebody. Hence why, this idea of being politically correct, of speaking properly to people, is quite frankly, in my opinion, such a complication right now. If you've got a goal, a dream that you desire to go after, right here, right now is the time to get started. Where do you start? Right where you're sitting. Okay, wherever you are, this is where you start. And that's why, like I said, working together, we can make this a better world for most people. If you don't know how to accomplish something, talk to somebody that's done it successfully. A couple of the critical things I've personally done successfully was quit alcohol, quit drugs, and I finally got my head on straight regarding this procrastination thing. Okay, I used to be a professional pack rat, as in, it didn't matter what it was, I'd hang on to it. And to be clear, the difference between a pack rat and a hoarder is a hoarder, in my opinion, keeps actual physical garbage. Banana peels, what have you. They keep actual garbage. A pack rat simply keeps a whole pile of junk, and most of it is pretty much useless to the person. Okay, now, with that in mind, like I said, right here, right now is the only time you're able to actually change anything. And you are personally the only one in existence, the only entity in existence that can be successful for you. So, with that in mind, time to get started on altering this world. If we do this, or more to the point, when we all do our part, correct our own world, okay, the energy in your body, the energy in your house, it will make you more comfortable, more relaxed, and thereby have an easier time dealing with the natural stresses of the outside world. This is the time to make it happen. And it's the whole reason I actually returned to this world. Okay, was to pass on this message that working together, we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. To that end, bearing in mind that I do have a tendency of keeping these down to the half-hour mark, I'm going to let you go for today. I will be back again tomorrow. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive.